Coach?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good, good. What steps are you trying to take in the spring and this summer to really elevate this defense to the next level?
You know, just really work on the details and cleaning up, you know, a lot of the things that, you know, that we just didn't get right towards the end of the year last year. So it's really a progression and a process for us. And being in year two, we're able to like work on a few more things, but also minimizing the fundamentals that we're trying to clean up and perfect.
What's your sense about the added depth and size that you have?
Man, it's great. It's great. When you got bigger bodies, it just makes practice go a lot smoother, and you're able to practice a lot harder and a lot more physical. And you know, having this depth right now, we have like a true 3 deep, and we're 4 in some other spots. It's not going to take the steam off of practice and the physicality off the spring ball.
How will that help you during a season?
It's everything. It really is. I mean, when you don't have an O-line or D-line depth, and you're a 4-down front team defensively, like you really want to develop the guys, you know, the 2s, 3s, and the 4s, you know, the depth. You want to keep your 1s and your 2s sharp, and when you don't have, you know, the depth at the O-line, then we can't line up our defense out there. When we don't have the depth on the D-line, we can't line up our offensive line out there. And you know, when you can't run the football, you really get a skewed sense of where you're at in terms of being able to stop the run and be able to play situational defense. So it's great to see all the big bodies out there. It's good to see the development of our younger guys, and just really just the second year. I mean, there's a lot of things. It's not brand new anymore. It's guys are kind of hitting the ground running. We're playing a lot faster. We got that half a step to a step faster in most positions, and you know, being more physical. You know, starting up front is really going to help us.
And then I know, obviously, to practice with the communication, talk about depth in the secondary, but 7-on-7s and team. How do you feel the communication with the secondary has been?
It's been good. It needs to get better. You know, it's still early on. I mean, day 2 install. We got a pretty heavy install going in day 3, so it's really going to challenge us from a communication standpoint. And our offense is giving us all the looks that we need. I mean, right now, and so we're you know, they're putting pressure on us in terms of how fast they get aligned and some of the different things that they're showing, and we're really getting a high volume of different things that are challenging our rules on defense. So it's challenging our communication, and I think our 1s are doing a solid job. Our 2s need to be a little better, and our 3s, you know, have a ways to go, but you know, we're getting there. We're way ahead of where we were last year at this time.
So you think you'll have a wider range of calls available to you situationally?
You know, I don't know if there's going to be a wider range of calls, but we'll be able to get into, you know, basically be able to put ourselves in better position just because of our guys' knowledge and being in our second year. You know, I keep talking about that foundation, that group that knows what we installed, you know, day 1 of spring ball last year, and we just built upon throughout the season. And, you know, having those guys, showing the new guys, the guys that are adding depth and talent at certain positions, it's just, you know, they got a good example right now. I just always say, you know, more is caught than what is taught, and those guys are catching what those guys they're trying to beat out are doing. So really have good leadership right now in our locker room from a defensive standpoint. We're just really, it's showing up on the field right now.
It should give you more confidence in the call that you want to make against a certain opponent, because you know the guys will be able to execute it. Is that fair?
Well, not only that, but I think just even more importantly, I mean, some of the looks that we're getting, you know, from our offense and some of the things that they're doing, it's going to challenge us, you know, rather than trying to see those looks, you know, the 3rd week of the season, and we've never seen in spring ball or fall camp. We're actually seeing those looks right now, and you know, it's been really, really good in terms of you know, that working relationship. I mean, I think we're giving each other what we want to see and what we need to see in order to be successful this fall.
Coach, any concern that Clayton Smith might want to start playing wide receiver?
I'll just say no comment. I mean, whatever the boss man wants to do with that, that's what he's going to do.
You had some really great leaders that departed, Mallory, Trey Brown. Who do you think are guys that can rise up and fill that void?
You know, I mean, there's some guys that lead by example, and there's some guys that lead by their vocal leaders. There's guys that are a combination of both. There's some guys really don't say a whole lot. They just really, they lead because they're showing, you know, what they need to do. And I keep bringing up those same guys, you know, guys like Shamari Simmons, Ed Woods, Xavier Alford, Mason Williams, Keith Abney, Ed Woods, You got those guys just showing in the back seven just what it's supposed to look like on a daily basis when we install a defense. That familiarity shows guys like Miles Rouser and Kamari Wilson and those guys. They show those other guys, Cole Martin, how to do it. Like, this is what this is how we're playing it. This is how we're how the teaching progression, how it's being coached, and so they're leading from that standpoint. And then we got guys up front, like Prince Dorba and Clayton Smith and C.J. Fight and Anthony Cooper, and those guys. They're showing guys like how it's supposed to be done up front, and then guys like Caleb McCullough and Tate Romney and those guys again at linebacker. Hey, here's what we do, and this is how we do it. This is how we communicate it. And I think all those guys. You're talking about a group of really unselfish guys. You know what I'm saying? That's the I think the key character quality of those guys. They're unselfish and they just want to be good, and they're intrinsically motivated, and they can feel, hey, there's competition too. So I need to up my game. I need to play like a second-year player in the system. Like, this stuff is familiar. So that leadership is just invaluable right now, and it's unselfish leadership too. So it's exciting to watch those guys.
And you mentioned Cole, but how do you feel that he's mixed in with the guys now that he's on the field?
Oh, he's great. Yeah, he's a lot of fun to coach. He really wants to be good, and you can tell he has a high football IQ, and obviously he's been blessed with a lot of ability. So it's going to be on me, to make sure that I can clean up all the little details. We talked about it today. Like, it's about play recognition for him, because I'm not going to change how I coach. I'm not a guy that goes, hey, if this, that, and this. It's literally, it's this or that. And here's how you play this. If it's not this, then it's that. And I try to just make it black and white, try to eliminate any gray. And, again, we're still working together for the first time. He doesn't trust me yet, because we were just getting a chance to work together like a Shamari Simmons trusts me. I tell Shamari one time, he does it verbatim exactly how I ask him to do it. Xavier Alford, same way. Mason Williams, same way. Cole's still learning the system. It's still day 1, day 2, day 3 for him, and I'm just excited to see what he's going to look like come practice 9 and 10 and 11.
Coach, there's a lot of fluctuation in weight over the offseason. Is there anybody that really stood out to you when you saw them for the first time in the game?
In terms of their weight?
Yeah, changing.
Man, Blazin Lonawong's the guy that stands out to me. I mean, he's just really growing up and maturing, and he's a guy that, he goes to one of those guys that's a depth guy last year, that he's the guy that's really going to push to start this year. He's going to put a lot of pressure on people. CJ Fight, his body's matured, and a lot of that, that baby muscle that he had before is turning into man muscle. And, guys like that, Clayton Smith, he's put on 15 pounds. You know what I mean? Prince Dorba's put on 10 pounds. And, Prince Dorba with 10 pounds, that's like 3 different weight classes, okay, for a body. I mean, it's all muscle. So those guys look a lot different, and, it's fun because it's showing on the field so far. I can't wait to see them in some pads on Saturday and see what happens.
Hey, Coach. On Thursday, Kenny said that you guys, when you move to the Big 12, are going to be playing a lot more 12 personnel, especially from a defensive standpoint.
Yeah.
What sort of strategies are you employing to go against those personnel groupings?
You have to find out. We're going to get a little bigger, but we got a little bigger in the weight room, and we may use some other substitution packages that we're going to kind of experiment with this spring, and we'll just see where it goes.
You have more versatility, though, at the line of scrimmage now with this group, the way that you can move some of your bigger bodies to end and do some different things, like hoop and Woodley, as an example.
Yeah. Those guys like Coop and Watley are they're going to give us a lot of flexibility. And anytime we got a dynamic pass rusher like a Prince Dorba or Clayton Smith and those guys and what they're going to bring in value in passing situations, we have some bodies this year that we're going to be able to be creative. With our personnel to create some mismatches in our favor.